Hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. In the previous episode, we finished off the underground cemetery, and now if we head to the left here, we enter a new area, the arena. And right off the bat, we're going to run into a new enemy, the blue skeleton, which is a beam skeleton. I will be back with his soul in just a moment. Okay, we've got the beam skeleton soul. This fires a deadly beam. Ooh, spooky. Try that out. Pretty strong. And our next new enemy is right here, the killer mantle. I will be back with his soul in just a moment. Okay, we've got the killer mantle soul now. This allows us to swap HP and MP of enemies. And while it sounds okay in theory, most enemies aren't going to be that affected, as you can see. But there are a few enemies in the game which have either 0 MP or negative MP, and in those cases, it actually instantly kills the monster. So, we'll keep an eye out for those in the episodes to come. You can always play around with it to see which enemies it works on well. Or just use your enemy roster in the main menu to view enemy stats and find out which one it might be good for. Off to the right here we have a teleport room and a new enemy, the Skullmillion. I will get his soul and also his item drops, and I'll be back with those. Alright, we have the Skullmillion soul, which weakens its enemies with its poisoned claws. Notice his name is kind of like Scarmiglione from Final Fantasy IV. Another one of the 4 fiends. Anyway, we'll test out the claws. Pretty strong. And I will be right back with his weapon drops. I'm back. If you look at my level, I've gained quite a few levels. I had to kill tons of this guy in order to get everything from him. If we take a look at the souls, I got... well, it shows 9 Skullmillion and beam skeleton souls. I probably got 40 to 50 of each. Now, for his 2 drops, they're both weapons. The first... there it is, the Kunitsuna, which boosts attack by 30 points. It's said to have killed a demon. It's fairly strong. Oh, and of course I got poisoned, so now it's shit. Oh well. And his other, I will swap that out, is... oh, where'd it go? It's around here somewhere. There we go, the Poisoned Fist. Notice that little green hand. It adds poison to your punches, and it boosts your attack quite a bit. It's pretty strong. Turns your fist purple. It took me forever to get that. That's what I was gained so many levels from, was trying to get this item. Anyway, I'm going to switch back to my favorite sword, and I'm going to also use Legion Soul. This next enemy up here is defeated easily with the Legion Soul. The Red Minotaur. I will get his soul, and we'll be back with that in just a moment. Okay, I've got the Red Minotaur soul. This swings an oversized axe. It's probably the best soul in the game as far as attack strength. However, look at the cost. It's 150 MP. He also drops the battle axe, which we have already got plenty of, and then a consumable, which is the tasty meat. 1,000 points of damage. You see what I mean? It's unrivaled, literally. It's the strongest in the game. It can one-hit most enemies, and it can one-hit a lot of bosses, too. We've got a Levitain there. And notice if you do it when you're turned backwards, you can actually get 2 hits on you on most enemies. That'll come into play on the boss rush mode if you want to get a really good time. You can abuse that trick by getting 2 really strong hits with the red Minotaur soul. We got a high potion. Oh, more Kunitsunas. And the gladiator. I will be right back and I will get his soul. Okay, we've got the gladiator soul now, which throws wheels at enemies. This is somewhat unique, I suppose. It gets slower as it moves, though, and then it just disintegrates. It's amusing, if nothing else. And up here is a new enemy, the were-tiger. I will get his soul and drops and be back with those. Alright, we have the were-tiger soul now, which packs an extremely powerful uppercut, which will look quite familiar if you've played Street Fighter. Shoryuken! I couldn't help it, sorry. Anyway, I will get his weapon drop as well, and I'll be right back with that. Okay, I've got the weapon drop from the were-tiger. We'll take a quick look at that. Where did it go? Oh, they're always at the bottom, aren't they? Yeah, very last one, of course. The whip knuckle boosts attack, and it allows you to throw whip-like punches, which it really doesn't actually do. It's basically just like any other knuckle. So it's pretty much worthless, in other words. One thing I didn't mention about the Kunitsuna, save room over here, by the way. The Kunitsuna actually has the ability to hit multiple times each time it slices downward. So you can get several hits on big enemies with it, which is its perk, I suppose. Now over to the right hand side here we have the first of the 3 gladiator trials and a new enemy, the Lubicant. I will get his soul and be right back with that in just a moment. Okay, I've got the Lubicant soul, or Rubicant as you'd say in Final Fantasy IV, which allows you to gain strength as you lose HP. So, as your HP gauge goes down, your strength goes up. Pretty self-explanatory. He also has a sword drop, which I will get. Alright, I have the sword drop from the Lubicant, which is the familiar Muramasa sword. Its blade is hungry for blood. Now, if you've played Symphony of the Night, you'll remember that the Muramasa sword was also in that game, and every time you hit an enemy that bled, it gained attack power. I'm not actually sure if that's the case in this game. It's been such a long time since I've played through this portion of the game. And these enemies do bleed, but it doesn't seem to be getting any stronger. So I'll have to check that out. In the meantime, over here we have a little trap, and beyond that is the Olrock suit. If we take a look at that, it's an armored suit once worn by the Olrocks, which is a boss from Symphony of the Night, as it were. Boosts everything except defense, which is what I want armor for, so I'm going to stick with my Everseen. Now, previously I showed you the Unitsuna sword, the katana. The reason why it's pretty good is it can actually get multiple hits on an enemy from one hit, from one downward swing, basically. So, it's good in that regard. And I think I just made it through that entire area without getting hit. That's pretty impressive for me. Anyway, I think we'll call it a video here. We'll take on the last of the trials in the next video. Until then, see you soon and keep watching.